Hey, what's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Happy Money Monday. Happy January 12th. Happy anniversary to me. Been married for 7 years. We rocking and rolling. The purpose of today's call, I'm going to show you how and why I called out the trades that I called out today. A simple, repeatable pattern, that continues to play out over and over and over again, right? And I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, well, trading's difficult. You can't do this or that." I'm here to show you how simplified trading can be with a plan, right? A pattern and something that's repeatable that you can take over time, right? So in the beginning, I tell new folks this: it's not about the money; it's about the process and the pattern that one takes, so that over time they can build their war chest up, their account, and then they can risk more down the road. So I day trade for my job, I swing trade to grow my account, and then I use the profits of both. I take my shovel and funnel it into my retirement shares. Because I believe that's the true path to generational wealth. And I'm using the same thing that you see right here on my screen. And it just, like I said, it repeats. So I'm going to show you why I called out some of the things I did call out. My goal is to get you green with one or two winning trades in the first 30 to 45 minutes of each and every market day. And then we get to go on about our day. So let's rock and roll. All right. Right here, the simple rules are this. When our candles are green, our Swing Master Pro trend is green, then we want to take a call, right? If it hits a pivot level, then we take a breakout. If our candles are red and we hit a pivot and then we break down, then we want to take a short, right? So coming in here, our candles are green. We don't hit no pivot. This candle right here hits this pivot and it hits this pivot. So it's a little bit large. If you're more aggressive, this technically on this next candle is a pivot break to the upside. But the problem is if this is too risky for you, down here would be your stop out, and on this trade you'd have to hold it to up there. So at least you're still green. It's a good signal. I'm gonna say it's actually a great signal, but the reason I say it's a good signal is because the stop out is a little bit larger than what I personally like to tell new people to take and trade. So we wait for another setup. This candle hit the pivot. We want to take a breakout. This candle hit the pivot. We want to take a breakout. We called the breakout right here in this body. Right there will be our stop loss. This will be our take profit on this first trade. 85 up here to 92. That right there is 7 ES points. That right there is good money. That right there is about $300 per one contract. So could you have gotten 100 to 200 bucks in this first trade? Yup, there's your 100, 200 bucks very safely. And we are now waiting for another setup. Then this candle breaks it. I called another pivot break. Here's our stop. It went against us. But guess what? You sit here, you hold tight, and then what do you know? Boom, shakalaka. We get profits up here, and we are happy. And guess what? This next trade on ES, it went from 93, went up here to 7,000. That's 7 ES points. That's another $300. On two trades today, you're 2-0. You could have made 200 very easily to $400. You smack dab in the center. $300 a day is almost $100,000 at the end of the year, which is a lot more than the average person makes. And we're doing this in 30 to 45 minutes a day. We now have the rest of the day to do whatever we want to do with. You get what I'm saying? That's the power of trading a repeatable pattern and process over and over. Coming over here to the next chart where this star is at, all right? NQ gave us the same exact setup. That bar is way too big for a lot of people for proper risk. You wait for this next bar. Here's your stop out, stop loss. Here's your take profit. You take the winning trade right there. Boom. There's another winner. Then this candle hits the pivot. It reset. You could have taken a breakout right there. And boom, there's another one. Then the candle resets, comes back down. Could have taken a breakout right here. Boom, there's another one. I called out this trade right here, this trade right there, another 2-0 day on NQ. This one went from 848 up here to 888, right? So that's 40 NQ points. This second trade gave us a potential of 91 up here, and it went higher, obviously. 91 to 24. That right there is over 30 NQ points. So for me, when that happens, right, I'm going risk-free once I go up 10, 15 NQ points. Why? Because that is my favorite trade. So either of those things, you could have went 2-0 on NQ. You could have went 2-0 on ES. Now, coming into the third trade that we called out, where I called out, candles were green. I was looking for a breakout right there, and it never happened. I did not take the trade. We say bummer. One of the hardest things about trading is waiting for the proper setup. Then this candle turned red. I want to take a breakdown. This next candle didn't happen, but boom, we got it right here. And this thing went from 74 all the way down to 48. That right there is almost 30 CL points. Definitely 20, 25 you could have locked in. But you could have made 10, 15 CL points in this trade. Then we get a bounce. We take a breakout right here. You're still trading CL and only CL. Here's your entry. There's your stop out. And price rolls up. Guess what? 2-0. Today is a perfect 6-0 day. If you traded all three of the future symbols that I called out today, another good day. Did we make $1 million? No. But our account is green and we growing. So let's rock and roll. My stock options traders, guess what? This first trade right here, right? This first trade right here, candles were green. We want to take a breakout right there. We got the breakout, right? And if this was your stop, here's your take profit. A lot of people ate on this trade right here. That right there is simplified trading. So we got that green bag right there for my options traders because I trade futures and stock options. Now, on the next setup we got, right, I was looking at Walmart. That thing gapped up. We're going to go to SPX. We're going to go into 5-minute. I'm going to share with you the trade that I called out today. You see right here where this AI Lotto high is. It is at 68.83. We took the 68.80 calls this morning. We got the breakout right here. Took the breakout. Bam. What's powerful about this is this gives us such a high probability to get 50 to 100% ROI, but at any given time, you can secure profits. If you're up 25, 30, 40%, you still good. Average loser on this lotto trade is about 50, 55%. Average winner for me is about 40%. We have a 75% odds or advantage to get 50 to 100% ROI, right? So if you take profits at 40%, right, your 75% exponentially increases. It goes up. So that's a good position to be in, you know? So, and that's the other trade we talked about. But this is a different trading vehicle, so I just showed you two. We actually have about 4 or 5 different day trading techniques that we do use. And the reason why is because there isn't one symbol for everybody, right? One person may like one system, another person may like another system. It really goes down to what your risk preference is or tolerance per your account size. You know, we're all trying to make money, but you may say, well, 50% or 60%, that's too large of a loss. I can't stomach that. That's fine. You don't have to, right? I will because I trust this. I'm also on an 18-day win streak on this same exact system, right? So in the end, I know the law of probability plays out over and over and over again. So that right there is how we day trade. We come here to SPY. We're going to go to the daily time frame. I'm going to quickly show you guys how we can swing trade using the same pattern and setup over and over and over again. And you want to see how powerful it is, right? So real simple. You see a green candle, green arrow, end of the day. You hop in, boom, winner. End of the day, boom, winner. End of the day, boom, loser, right? You take every single one of these. This is the power of staying consistent. If we take 4 weeks of expiration time and we get a $2 or $3 move on the share side, right? That's enough to give us 15 to 20% ROI. Typically, we'll get stopped out 30, 40%. A loss is about 30%. So if I showed you that we could make 25% ROI and our loss is 25% ROI, right? Check it out. There's one winner. There's two winner. Here's a loser. 2 and 1, 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 7 and 1, 8 and 1, 9, 10 and 1, 10 and 2, 11 and 2, 12 and 2, 13 and 2, 14 and 2, 15 and 2. And even if we count this as a loser because it went exactly $2, we'll just say 15 and 2. We'll say 14 and 3, right? If we pull up our calculator, and we take 14 divided by 17 total trades, our win rate's 82%. Would you feel good with an 82% probability? Now, of those 14 winners, let's say we got a measly 25% ROI. That's 350%. And on the 3 losers, that's a minus a 75%. All right, so guess what? 275% ROI. In 6 months, if you used $100, guess what? Your $100 just made you $275. It is now worth $375. That is unheard of gains. But people look at it like, well, if it's only $100, those same people eventually have $1,000. Now your $1,000 over that amount of time went to $3,750. Now that's money to be made. And then over time, you might say, well, that's only $3,700 for something that takes a total of not even 30 minutes over the course of 5 months. That's good. Then when your account gets to $10,000, right? Now it gets real nice. That's like you making $37,500, right? You just made a salary, right, in less than what 20 minutes over the course of 5 months, give or take, an average of about 2.5, 3 trades a month. That's money right there. So there's levels to it. Everyone starts here, then moves to this level, then moves to this level, then you get to a spot where you're comfortable. The power of this is what I'm trying to tell you is we do not win every single trade, right? We do not win every single trade. We stay consistent. We run it up and follow the plan, and we use risk management. That is how we exponentially grow over time using the same pattern, same setup over and over and over again, right? GBTC. Now, you heard me say that we can invest trade, right? Invest. I call this the real estate method. You go to the weekly time frame, and every time that you get a buy here, you get a buy here, right? You get 2 buys. Say we have a $1,000 account. We've pushed this into the market. Here's $1,000. Check it out. We're not just taking trades by luck. We're trading the probability, right? So here is 2,000. There's 2K. 45, which is 45, which is right here. There's 3K. Up here, 60. There's 4K. Up here, 1K goes to 2K to 3K to 4K. At 1K, once we go to 2K, right, I'm selling out and bringing 1K back and letting 1K ride. Then 1K goes to the next pot. Your 1K turns into 2K. I'm selling out. I'm bringing 1K back. Now we have 2K on the side. Keeps going up. 1K turns into 2K. We have 1K rocking. I'm bringing 1K back. Now we have 3K on the side, right? Then we get a buy here. Well, this was our last buy. We have 1K, and let's say we put in 2K into the market there. That brings our 3K down to 1K, right? We have 3K. Here's a buy. Here's a buy. Our average comes into about 35, goes up higher, about 35, right? So at 70, right there, your 3K is worth 6K. Sell out, let 1K ride, bring 5K back. Now we have 6K in the markets, and we got $1,000, right? In our what I want to say, in our account. Then as it keeps pushing up, right? Your 1K turns into 2K up here. Sell out, bring 1K back. Now we have 7K, and we have $1,000 for free, right? You see how that works? That is very, very good. So we just grown our account exponentially. All right. Now, so we got what 7K off to the side. The reason I don't do the traditional HODL method, right, is because here I'm going to show you an example, right? And I purposely messed all this up right here, or I didn't mess it up, but I didn't share with you what we could have done. So I could real quick. You could put in 1K here at 10, at 20, right? There's 2K, 30, 3K, 40, 4K, 50, 5K. So 1, 2, 3, 4, here's 5K, right? Your 1,000 turns into 5K. Once your 1 turns to 2, right, I'm letting 1 ride. I'm bringing 1K back. 1 goes into 2, I'm bringing another 1K back. 1 goes to 2, I'm bringing, there's 3K back. Goes up here to 5, there's 4K back. So let me just add this 4K to our pot. So now we have $11,000, right? And then price resets. Here's another buy. Well, if we bought 1K here, 1K here, here's our average at 25. 2K goes up here. There's 4K. I'm gonna bring 3K back. So that 11 plus 3 equals 4,000. So that's 4 or 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. So that's 14K, right? And then that's the only part I'm missing here. So we just took $1,000, turned it into $15,000, right? And the reason I'm going to share this with you, a lot of people do the HODL method, right? I like the smart investing. So we took 1K and we turned it into $15,000, right? If you put in 1K here and you go HODL, HODL, whatever you want to call it, right? At your 1K, here's 20, right? There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, up here's 9, then you're back to 7. So your 1,000 turns up here to 5,000, back down to 1,000 or 2,000, back to 5, back to 2, up here to 3, to $750. You just wasted 2 years of your life hodling this thing and didn't go on. Then it goes all the way up here, right? Pushes up to 6,500, then drops down to 3 grand, then goes to 8,000, then goes down to 6, then goes to 9,000. Now it's at $7,100. So your 1K is worth $7,100 for a team hodl, right? Right here. Or you can smart invest with us, right? Or in the software I'm showing you for $1,000 to $15,000. We outperformed it over time by over double. And that's what I call the real estate method. So anyway, we could go on all day about this. You know me, I love the markets. That's why I just don't hodl. I take profits as we go up because there's always going to be another opportunity to get into the markets for sure. But we're going to rock and roll and keep it running. If this interests you, just comment BMT below in the comments. Also, share where you're watching this from. I love to see how far we make it across the United States. With that being said, you guys have a blessed one. Catch me on the next one. Beast mode out.